Pokemon has always been a part of our childhood memories. All those Pokemon episodes, those fights, evolutions, different Pokemon generations, everything used to be fun. So, bringing those memories back, today I'll be building an end to end Tableau dashboard using Pokemon dataset. I'll be explaining every step from scratch, and at the end, you'll be having an interactive and beautiful Pokemon dashboard, which you can display as a part of your project as well. So, let's get started. Before starting with this video, I have already made another end-to-end dashboard in which I'll be dealing with IMDb dataset. You can of course watch this later and get more hands-on experience on Tableau. Now let's start with this video with a brief introduction about Pokemon data we'll be using. So this is the data available with us, which is Pokemon with stats. We have 721 Pokemon line items with stat and types, which is contributed by Alberto Barradas. Thank you so much for sharing this data. This data set is famous. You can see 2079 upwards here. Of course, it deserves to be famous because actually it triggers that nostalgic moments in our childhood watching Pokemon day and night. So let's see what this data has to offer us. So we have this Pokédex, which is a index number for each of the data point we have. Then name of Pokemon, type of Pokemon, and other type, which actually stands for the primary and the secondary type of the Pokemon. So as we all know that Bulbasaur primary type was grass and secondary type was poison. Now coming towards the fourth column, so this basically column is a summation or the total of hit points, attack strength, defensive strength, special attack strength, special defensive strength, and speed. So this is basically a summation or total of all these columns. Then we have number of generation. We have data from first to sixth generation, and finally whether the Pokemon is legendary or not. So you can download this dataset simultaneously and start building your Tableau dashboard with me as we proceed further. That's all with the explanation regarding this dataset, and let's move towards building our super amazing interactive Pokemon dashboard on Tableau. Now once you have downloaded this dataset, which is pokemon.csv, you need to click here, which is text file, and you can trace your pokemon.csv file wherever you have stored in your desktop and click here, and now your dataset will be available in this preview option. Just check this dataset whether it has imported properly, and let's move towards creating our first sheet. So click on the sheet number 1. Now considering we are dealing with the Pokemon data, let's start this video in a really fun visual to present our data in effective way. Now we have a column attack value, defense and speed value. As you can see here, we have attack, defense and speed for each of the Pokemon we have. So why not present it in form of separate donut chart for each of these properties? Now since I want to plot each of these properties such as attack, defense and speed in form of donut chart, I need to use this attack and total, because since we are presenting attack out of this total. But the problem is our total is a summation of all these properties like attack, defense, speed, special defense, special attack, HP, but I need the total of just these three properties, which is attack, defense, and speed. So what we can do? So firstly, we'll go on this analysis and then create a custom calculated field. So let's name it as total of attack, defense, and speed, and we'll add all of these attack plus defense plus speed. Now, since I want to plot a donut chart using a single measure, which is attack, firstly, I need to minus or subtract this attack from my total ADS, which is summation of attack, defense, and speed. So how can I do this? I will create three separate calculated fields for total minus attack, total minus defense, and total minus speed, so that would be serving as a second part of our donut chart. So let's do it. So here I will be creating total minus attack calculated field, in which I'll be subtracting attack from total. So this will be our first part, and similarly I will do this for our defense and speed as well. Now as you can see, I have created three separate calculated fields, which is total minus attack, which we'll be using to plot donut chart for our attack, total minus defense and defense, total minus speed for our speed. So to plot this donut chart using a single dimension, in our case which is attack, defense and speed, there is a special technique which I'm going to share with you. So firstly, we need to drag this measure views into our text, and then we need to drag our measured names in details section. Now from measured values, we will keep only the relevant one. Now for example, we need attack and we need total minus attack to plot a donut chart for attack. So I'll be removing all these irrelevant things. I'll remove generation, HP and other things as well. Okay, so there is attack and total attack. And now I will, from this mark section, this will be plotting a text as automatic. Now here I will select pi, since we need to create a donut chart. And now in this standard, I will click on entire view so that our whole space will be consumed. Now here you can just see the values of attack is 63,201 and total attack is 284, 2,84,000. But now how can I change it to my pie chart and later into my donut chart? So for that purpose, we need to take this measured names into color, and then we need to take these values into this angles, so that our all these values, which is summation of attack and summation of total attack, are considered as angles. And as you can see, our pie chart is ready with attack as in proportion of total attack. But now we have pie chart with us, so how can you convert this pie chart into donut chart? So this is again a special technique which I'll be showing you how to convert this pie chart into a donut chart. So for that purpose, since we are using attack over here, we'll be grabbing this attack, we'll put it in the rows, and now again we'll be grabbing this attack dimension and placing this attack beside the previous one. So as you can see, there are two pie charts available with us. Now firstly, we'll bring this pie chart at the center. For that purpose, we'll right click, we'll click on edit axis and exclude the zeros. We'll do the same thing for our second pie chart. Click edit axis and exclude zero. And now as you can see, both the pie charts are in the center. Now what we will do is we'll align this bottom pie chart in front of this first pie chart. So how can we do this? We'll click on the bottom pie chart, we'll click on the right click, and then we'll click on dual axis. Now in dual axis, what happens is our second pie chart is in front of the previous pie chart. Now we'll just get rid of these headers, just unselect these show headers. Now what we will do is we will now these are the two pie charts, the first one and the second one available here. This is first and this is the second. So for the second pie chart, basically we will just simply make this pie chart as blank one. So for that purpose, we'll just drag this measured names and measured values outside. So as you can see, our second pie chart, which is in front of previous one, is blank, and we will reduce the size a little bit less so that our first pie chart will be visible. Now we'll just get rid of this zero line which is appearing here. Just click on right click, format, and in this lines, click just unselect the zero lines, none, and now we are done. Now we'll just simply increase the size of the first pie chart a little bit and also increase the size of second one. So as you can see, our donut chart for pie for attack is ready. So to match this color of background, we'll just change the color gray to white. Click on the second pie chart, then color to white, and we'll also enable the label so that we can see the value of attack. Now we have created this donut chart, but this is not that presentable. So we'll just present this attack in red color. So how can I do this? Just click on edit color and we'll assign red color to attack. And for total attack, we'll just keep it a lighter shade of gray. Click on apply. And as you can see, this is much more presentable than before. Now you need to replicate this donut charts for defense and speed as well. So how can you do this? First step is to replicate all those steps which we followed previously to create those two separate donut charts. And the second technique is quite easy. You just need to right click on attack and click on duplicate. So our duplicate copy of attack has been created. Now here we'll just replace this attack with defense values. So we have sum of attack here. We'll just drag defense and just replace attack with defense. Same over here, we have sum of total attack at total minus attack. We'll just replace total minus attack with total minus defense. And on the top, we'll just replace with defense. Oops. Okay. We'll just replace these values with defense. And here we need to edit access and exclude 0, which we did before. Edit access and exclude 0. And as you can see, the value of defense has been displayed here. Now you just need to change the color. For defense, we can keep a bit of green shade. Click on apply. Now the one thing is you can place any color you want. It's completely your choice. Now since we are done with this donut chart for defense, in meantime I had created this donut chart for speed as well. So this can be your homework. You can try it your own, how you can replicate this on your own. So we have done with the three donut charts. We have the donut chart for attack where value is 63,000. We have donut chart for defense where the value is 59,000 and the speed which is 54,000. So let's see how these three donut charts look together. Over here in this dashboard, we'll change the size to automatic so that we can use the whole screen, and then just one by one take all our donut charts on this one sheet just to check how these look together. And now what we'll do is we'll work on the filters and let's see how these donut chart changes with the filters. So let's move towards the attack donut chart and let's keep the filters as legendary or not. Click on all. Then let's add a filter on the type. We'll click on use all and apply. And again, going to the dashboard, we'll just import this filters. We'll click on drop down. So this is basically a very temporary dashboard. This is not a permanent one which we're going to build in future. This is just for your reference and just to see how these donut chart changes with those filters and are we on the right track or not. Okay, so let's see. So now, and one more thing, we'll just apply these filters to all these three dashboards. Select all on dashboard, click on OK. And even for the type one. Now let's try out these filters one by one. So firstly, let's change the legendary to true. We can see for legendary is true, the attack is more than defense and speed. Now let's try out with these type filters. So if we choose these fighting filters, we can see this attack factor is more than defense and speed. Now we know that for the flying type Pokemons, the speed is more compared to defense and attack. So let's see whether it's true or not. So if we choose flying type Pokemon, you can see speed is comparatively more than defense and attack. And now let's choose the steel type Pokemons. So if you remember, the steel type or the rock type Pokemons had more defense compared to attack and speed. So the same is getting reflected here. We can see defense factor is more compared to speed and attack. So yeah, we are on the right track and our donut charts are working fine. Now since we are done with these donut charts and we have ensured that these are working fine, we can delete this dashboard. We'll create a better one later. Now let's jump towards a bit simple sheets or the simple visualizations. Now here we'll be plotting the top types based on the total points. So for that purpose, we'll take our type 1 and we'll take our total points, which is a sum of all these properties. And now here I'll just flip this chart and click on entire view. We'll just sort these type 1 in descending order, where my field will be this total and cancel. And now I want to display the top 10 or top 5 types. So for that purpose, I'll just create a calculated field. I'll click on index. Our calculated field is valid. So we are creating this calculated field index, which is just a number like 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So we'll drag this index in filters option and we'll select 5 and apply. So let's say you want to plot top 10 types, you can just change 5 to 10 and click on apply, and the top 10 types are appeared. So for now I'll just keep it to 5 and apply. Now I will do this for type 2 as well. Now I want to display type 1 and type 2 simultaneously besides each other. So for that purpose, I'll just duplicate this graph, and instead of type 1 here, I'll click type 2. I'll just drag type 2 and replace with type 1. Now when we replace type 2 with type 1, we can see these charts are not sorted in proper way. So we need to sort them again. Click on sort, click on descending, and we'll keep the fields as total and cancel. And as you can see, our charts are sorted properly. Now here we can see null here. Why? Because not all Pokemons have two types. Some Pokemons just have one type, so the other records are displayed as null. So we can just change the format, change the alias as from null to not available for better presentation. And we can just disable these field label for both type 1 and type 2 as well. Now we can just rename the sheet as type 1 and type 2. Now another thing I want to change here is I don't want to keep this 0k here, because our most of the values are starting from 24 or 22k. So what I can do is right click on edit axis and exclude the include zero option. So now you can see my axis is automatically changing with the values. So it starts from around 24k to 49k. Now I'll do the same for type 2 as well. Edit axis and click on exclude zero. Just disable that. And now our graph looks a bit more presentable than before. And also I'll just remove these grid lines. For that, just click on format, right click on format, and in this lines you just need to disable these grid lines. Same for the type 1. In columns, disable these grid lines. Now since we are done with this type 1 and type 2 based on the total number of points, considering the colors and presentation will be looking later once our dashboard is ready. Now coming towards the next sheet, we'll be plotting a kind of similar plot, but here we'll be taking the Pokemon name, which are the top Pokemons based on the total number of points. So for that purpose, I'll drag this dimension name in this column, and I will take these total points over here, and the same thing we'll just flip it, and I'll just sort it based on the total number, on the total value in the descending order. And the same thing, I'll just drag my index and put filter as 5 or 10, depends on you, and click on an entire view and disable this field label. Now here you can also plot in another sheet based on the total which we computed based on attack, defense, and speed only. Now in the meantime, what I did is I excluded the zero. As you can see, the access charge from 760 to 781, and also I got rid of those grid lines rendering in background, and change the sheet name to Pokemon names. Now, our next visualization or the next chart will be a tabular representation of these Pokemon names, and I'll be presenting all these properties. So, I'll be having a table in which there will be a Pokemon name, there will be attack value, defense value, HP value, special attack and special defense value, and speed value. And I will be sorting that data based on the total number. So let's proceed creating our tabular visual. So firstly, I'll drag my name onto my sheet. Secondly, I'll drag all those properties which I want to display here. So let's start with attack. Now by default, since it's a measure, it's start showing those graphs, but I want values. So how can I change it? So here, click on this drop down and click on discrete. So my measure will be converted into some dimensions and my values are presented here. Now similarly, I'll do for defense. I want speed as well. So I'll drag speed and here I'll change discrete from continuous one by one. And now here I also want HP value. I want special attack and finally I want special defense. I'll convert all to discrete. Now, as you can observe, we are having this ABC values over here. So how can I get rid of this? So how can you get rid of these ABC thing? So just right click on format, then go into the shading option and here click on the sheet and reduce the band size to 0. And as you can see, the colors are gone. And now just click on this font and in pane section, you just need to select the font color as white. And as you can see, our ABC values have disappeared. Now we need to sort these names based on the total values. So how can you do this? For that thing, you just need to click on this drop down, sort, and we'll sort based on our field as total, and we'll click on descending order. And I just want to present around 12 to 15 line items. For this, I just drag this index over here and reduce it to 15 and click on apply. And now here I want to occupy this whole space. Just click on entire view and you can manually drag these on the left so as to occupy them properly. Now since we are done with building all the sheets required for our dashboard, let's consolidate all those sheets into one. So for that purpose, you need to click here as new dashboard and then click size as automatic so that we can occupy the whole space on a screen. Now we'll import all the sheets one by one in this tiled format. Firstly, I'll import Pokemon names. Then we will import this type 1 and then type 2. Now we'll bring our overview at the bottom of the Pokemon names. And besides overview, we'll keep our three donut charts. First, let's bring our attack here. We'll bring our attack, we'll bring our defense, delete container, and then finally we'll bring our sheets here. Now here we can align it as per our convenience. So now let's play with the filters. If you remember, we had used filters in this attack donut chart. So on this dashboard, click on attack, click on this drop down and select the filters. We'll select legendary filter from filter option and bring this filter on our dashboard. Now click this drop down menu so that we can view our filter in this drop down option. And now we'll apply this filter for all the sheets on our dashboard. How can I do this? Just click on this drop down and click on apply to worksheets and then selected worksheets. In these selected worksheets, select all on dashboard. So this filter will be applied to all the sheets available. So you can see by default the legendary is all. means all the values for. So as you can see, by default the legendary value is all, and we can see our Mewtwo is on the first rank. And as soon as I click on legendary as false, means all the non-legendary Pokemons will be appeared. And here we can see Mewtwo has been replaced with Garchomp, Mega Garchomp. So now let's bring out all our filters. What other filters we had used? So in filters we'll also take type 1. In type 1 we'll click on drop down. Sorry, click on drop down so that we can click on individual, we can select individual values. So let's take flying. Now we can see this value is only getting applied to these three donut charts, but now let's apply these filters to all other sheets on our dashboard. Click on all on dashboard, click on OK. Now when I'm selecting dragon type, and let's not keep this filter type 1 filter to this type 1 sheet, because of course it will just show this dragon. So let's not keep it to type 1 and type 2 sheet. We'll exclude this type 1 and type 2 sheets from this filter. Click on OK. So let's see whether our filters are working properly. I'll just change this dragon to, let's say, fire type. And as you can see, Charizard is on the top. And let me tell you one thing, Charizard was one of my favorite Pokemons in back in childhood. So what was your favorite Pokemon? Please do comment down below. Now it's time to bring other filters into picture. So you can select this attack or any other chart you wish to. So let's select Pokemon names. We'll get onto this sheet and we'll import type 2 filter as well in this picture. Now from type 2 we'll use all, click on OK, and coming back to our dashboard you need to click this drop down. From filters you need to select type 2 since we had used this filter in Pokemon names. Now the same process, we'll change the format to drop down option so that we can select an individual filters. And now let's apply this filter to all other sheets excluding type 1 and type 2. So we'll select attack, defense, okay, click on OK. So now let's introduce another filter, which is generation. Now as you remember, we had values from first to sixth generation in this data. So let's bring generation as a filter as well. So let's click on this individual sheet Pokemon name and bring this generation over here. But now since it's measure, I am not able to select an individual generation. So for that purpose, I'll first convert this measure to dimension. So for that, just right click and click on convert to dimension. Now our generation has been converted to dimension, and now when we import this, we can see individual generations appeared over here. Just click on use all and apply. And now coming back to dashboard, we'll just click on filters. We'll bring generation into picture, change the format, and then apply to all the sheets available. Click on OK. And let's see whether it works properly. If we see second generation, the values are changing, and that's really great. Now these filters are actually sufficient, but I just want to introduce another filter. So I want to filter out the HP values. I want to filter out average HP values from 1 to 70 and click on apply. We'll go back to our dashboard. We'll click on drop down. We'll select our filter average HP, and our filter has been appeared here. Now I want to see only Pokemons which have HP from 1 to 70. So we can just manually enter 70, and we can see all the Pokemons having HP 1 to 70 are displayed here. Now since all our sheets and all our filters are on this dashboard, now it's time to consider some alignment. So we'll change this overview alignment towards some a bit left, and accordingly for the Pokemon names. And now we can change this values towards left so that all these values are reflected on this sheet. Okay, and then we'll bring our filters one by one on the top. We'll keep legendary and generation at 1. our Pokemon names, and then we'll bring this average HP filter on the top of type 1 and bring type 1 and type 2 above type 2 filter, type 2 sheet. Now, since we are done with the filters, we have done with the arrangement, we are done with the sheets. Now let's introduce title to our sheet, to our dashboard. So for that, we need to click on dashboard and click on show title, and our dashboard title will be appeared. I'll keep this title name as Pokemon Dashboard Tutorial. So what I'm going to do is I will align all these titles, the sheet titles as well as filter titles to the center so that it could look a much more better. And then I will experiment with some color. Probably I'll be using black color. So I'll do this for one sheet and you can replicate it for other sheets as well. So I'll show you how can we do for one sheet. So let's say if you're considering overview, just double click and then select the sheet name and place it to the center and click on apply. And for changing the color, you just need to right click and create and click on this format title and then select shading as black, and then we can change the font color as white and make it bold. So I'll be replicating the same for all the sheets and the filters as well. So it would look like dashboard is not completed yet. We need to add three more visualizations. It's not visualizations, but the KPIs actually. So I need to present average attack, average defense, and average speed as well above this. So how can I achieve this? It's really simple. Just go on the sheet, drag the attack and drag this attack dimension towards the text and click on the entire view so that it can occupy the whole space. Now click on format and then align it towards center. Now as you can see, our sum of attack is aligned at the center, but now I want average. So how can I change it? Just click on this drop down and then we can change the measure to average. If you want, you can change it to count, minimum, maximum. There are n number of options, but we'll be choosing average. And now we'll also click on format and change the number format. I just want this one decimal here. So in custom, I'll just click on one decimal places and click on OK. So this is average. And now I'll just click on this text option and edit the text as average attack as value. Apply. So this is my text. I'll just increase the width a little bit, just make it 12 and bold. Okay, and now we'll import this on our dashboard. We'll just hide this title and bring it on the top. We'll just change the color as lighter shade of gray. Okay, and now we'll follow this for all these three, like average defense and average speed. So this is what our dashboard looks like. Now let's see into presentation view and let's check out some filters. So firstly, let's make legendary as true. And as you can see, my average attack, defense, and speed are changing along with the other sheets. Now let's click all as a default value. Now what I can observe here is my colors of these dashboards are not that attractive. So first thing, for black color, I think for complementing this black color, the yellow color, yellow shades would look more attractive. So I'll use yellow color for top Pokemon names, Pokemon type 1 and type 2. And secondly, for these red, green and blue color, I'll use a brighter shade of them. So this is what our dashboard looks like, and as you can see, by just changing color, how our dashboard looks more prettier and more presentable. Now, just a cherry on cake, I'll be adding icons to make it more beautiful. So I will be adding icons for attack, defense, and speed. I'll be importing image in form of fluting. I'll just select my image. So I've already downloaded from internet. You can also download, you can choose rather on your own. Click on OK. So I've already defined the parameters. You can change, by the way, you can change your parameters in the layout manually. So for X, I had kept 714, 556. I've set width as 57 and height as 50. Now in presentation mode, you can see my attack icon is added. Similarly, I will be doing for defense speed. And here, as you can see, I have added icons for defense and speed as well. Also, additionally, I have used these Pokeball icons at the either side of this title. And let's see in the presentable view how it looks like. And definitely it looks like much more super amazing. So this is what our interactive Pokemon dashboard looks like. If you love this video and got value out of this, please do hit that like and subscribe button and share this video with your friends. So signing off for today, stay safe, take care, and thank you so much for watching.